It's a good morning. Good morning. I have a couple stories for you. I have quite a bit of excitement. Great news. It's going to be a short one today, though.
Okay. I used to be afraid of the world outside my door, so I lived within the pages of a book. I used to be so scared of what I couldn't control. It seemed whatever I touched, I broke. The wind at my back, the grass so green, the sun on my face, it was all a dream till you said, wake up, wake up, wake up, take my hand. I'm here for you now, I'll help you stand. The world isn't so frightening, it's not all thunder and lightning, and as long as we are together, life can only get better. I used to be embarrassed about my eyes, my nose, my smile, so I hid my face behind my hair. I spent so many years feeling like I was drowning. Now finally I'm coming up for air. Laughing out loud, being part of a team, touching the stars, it was all a dream till you said, wake up, wake up, wake up, take my hand. I'm here for you now, I understand. The world isn't so frightening, it's not all thunder and lightning, and as long as we are together, life can only get better. Life can only get better.
Looking at, it's crazy. It's crazy, but my hair stuff, it's from the mask. It's from my CPAC mask. Yeah. It looks like this. Yeah. Like this. So it messes with your hair. It's absolutely crazy. So good morning. Good morning. It is Monday, April 28th, 2025. It is 4 a.m. And let's start by saying welcome to the new subscribers, the new members of our community this week. I like doing that. I really do. I like doing that. So good morning to Camarozan, to Bill Hyatt, to Lily Autumn West. I like that name. Yeah. To Olivia Barre. I hope I said that right. It looks pretty. To Holly, to MLS999. Okay. To Kelly Bernay. I don't know how to say your last name. Byrne. Bernay? Byrne? Welcome, author Kelly. And Jay Bolagoda. Awesome. Anyway, that brings us to 298 members of the community. 2 more, we're going to hit 300. And it took a year. I know a lot of other Substacks, they teach writing and things, and it's only been my stories. But it took us exactly a year to get exactly 100 people in the community. And then the next year, the next 100 was like another 8 months. And now we're into, almost month 5, and we've almost got our third 100. So that's awesome. The other thing that's really exciting, guess what? We hit 40 of the 50 states in the United States. It's one of those crazy goals. I'd love to have readers in all 50 states just to fill the math. I know it's totally silly. It's really not relevant to anything. It's just the weird, silly, the little kid thing in me that I just go, that would be so cool. Like I love when Substack started sending me notifications. Well done. You've been, you have a publishing streak of this many weeks, and you're in the top percentage of whatever with the Substack publishers. And I remember it was like, 60% and then 40% and 30%. I was like, this is really awesome. And as time went on, and then I got all the way down and it was like 6%. And I was like, oh, I wonder if I could get 3%. Got the 3%. Does it even go to 2? Got the 2%. I was like, oh my gosh, if I keep going, will I get in the top 1%? 1%. So it's just awesome. It's just various metrics. Do they really matter? I don't think that they do. I really don't think so. It's just personal motivation to keep going. It's just like there's so much hype, so much being pushed on Substack, and I'm just really sick of seeing all the business. Grow your Substack but people are growing their Substack by talking about growing their Substack. I still don't understand how that's a thing. What are you contributing? I don't know. I hope you're writing fiction. Fiction matters. Fiction completely matters. So, 2 fun stories. First one is I had my oldest daughter and my granddaughter come because my granddaughter had some medical challenges and had to go to Primary Children's Hospital for tests this last week. And so, our house is kind of halfway in between where they live out in the country and the hospital. So they stayed here for the week. Here's the funny thing. So they're here. My oldest daughter, Cecily, we call her Ditto, and her and Ruby, my youngest, my 5-year-old, and Cecily's trying to motivate her youngest sister to help with the chores, to help with the house. And she's a phenomenal mom. She's so great. And so she's trying to encourage her, like, Ruby, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to do this and this. I'm going to win. And Ruby's okay. We have open in our apartment. You have the family room, you got the kitchen, you got the dining room. It's all an open room, right? So I'm in the kitchen. I'm making some food, making some breakfast, and Ruby's over at the kitchen table. She's kind of like this, and she's eating her. She had a late night because when siblings come over and stay, it's visiting with mom and dad and everyone. And so it's late night. So Ruby didn't get a whole lot of sleep. So she's at the table like this. She's just eating like this. Cecily's like, you need to come help, Ruby. Hurry. I'm going to beat you. And Ruby looks over at me and just goes, I don't care. You be first. Totally free. Cecily freezes. It's like, well, that didn't work. We're like, we don't talk to her that way. All of you moved out. She has no little siblings. She talks to adults. So she's a 5-year-old that talks to adults. Anyway, she's like, fine, you be first. and then Cecily changes her tactics, and she's like, well, Dad's gonna pay me for doing this chore. Dad's gonna give me I think she said, Dad's gonna give me 2 quarters. Ruby says, big deal. She says, I have a handful of quarters in my room. It's just not motivating her. So she ups it. She says, well, Dad's going to pay me $5 to do the dishes. Do you want to help me do the dishes? You can have some of that. And still, Ruby's on the, she's eating. She looks over at me, and she looks at me, and she just goes, her mom's behind her like, afterwards, I went up to Ruby. I was like, Ruby, you need to be nicer. You need to be kind here. And she's like, I will when Cecily goes home. I was like, Ruby Charlotte. Oh, okay. That's my 5-year-old. And she turned 6 on Thursday. I'll give you an update on that one next week. So that's the first story. Second story. I can't tell you all the stories from last night that I was so excited to share with you, because I couldn't tell them even a fraction as well as Simon did. He had us just laughing to tears, everyone in the room. So Simon and his oldest brother and some friends, they decided, well, it's been a really busy month for him. He went to Montana with some friends. They rented a house. What do you call it? I can't remember what you call them. Anyway, they rented a house and they did some role-playing games up there for fun. And there was like a church youth activity or something in Montana with cousins or something. Anyway, so they went up there and for a weekend. Then they came home. And then he had 2 days, worked like 13-hour days, and immediately he had planned for a few months, with his oldest brother and some friends, that they were all going to rent a B&B. B&B, that's what I was thinking of. B&B on the coast out in Oregon, out off the beach. And they were going to spend from Thursday to Sunday and, just hang out together, have some great seafood, and do some role-playing games. Anyway, so he does this trip to Montana, camping and all this other stuff, and, out there in nature, and he comes home, does this 2 days, hurries and packs his bag, and takes off for Oregon. And they left at like 4 a.m. to get up to go on the plane. And what was hilarious is that by about 7 o'clock, I start getting texts from my oldest son, and he is laughing. He is laughing hard. And I was like, is everything okay? Why are you just sending me ha ha ha? And Evan's like, so, guess who got to be introduced to TSA? Oh no. I was like, what happened? So my son would not tell me, my oldest boy would not tell me anything. He says, Simon has to tell you when he gets home. I was like, oh no. It's like, I said, Simon, along the way, during the weekend, I kind of texted, Simon, are you all right? He says, yeah. He says, I made some friends I wish I didn't make. And I was like, did you get a prostate exam? And he says, we'll just say that I'm clean and good. I was like, oh no. Anyway, so he comes home and he says, it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought, but he was so frustrated. He says, no, I go there and he's only been on a plane twice. My oldest son's never been on a plane, so they're going through and they don't know this process, but they're going through, and the you're supposed to take stuff out of your bags. I've only traveled very, very little on planes, and so I'm not I don't have a lot of experience in these things. However, I do remember when I was traveling for business, you got to take out your computer. You put your computer in the, in the tray, and they slide that through, and you got to take off your belt and your shoes and all this stuff. And anyway, so he does all that, but he sends his bag through, and it beeps. And the young lady that works there, she's like, do you have any computers? And he's like, no, I don't have any computers in there. Are you sure the machine says you have a computer? He says, well, no, I have an iPad in there. And she's like, that's a computer. Oh, okay, yeah. You need to take that out and put that in the tray. So he takes that out and he puts it in the tray and goes through. And the line, he's holding up the line. More people are gathering here. Anyway, and it beeps again. She pulls it out. She says, do you have any other computers in the bag? He's like, no. I have the iPad. That's all I've got. She says, the machine says that you have a computer in your bag. And he's like, no. He goes, I got a Nook in there. And she's like, and he's like, okay. So he takes out the Nook, puts it in there, puts it through again. And then another alarm goes off. And she's like, do you have any any weapons in there? And he looks at her, he goes, I don't even know anymore. I have no idea. And she's like, so she pulls out the bag and she says, do you have knives? Do you have it? He's like, I don't know. And he thinks and he thinks and he goes, but if I had a knife, it'll be in that pocket. And he points to the pocket and she unzips it. She pulls out a big knife. And he's like, crap. And he's like, I'm sorry. I had another trip. I went to Montana. We were out in the wilderness and I came home and my mom warned me to unpack my entire bag, but I didn't. And I went to work and I just stuffed more clothes in here and here we are. And she says, well, you have two choices. You can either turn it over to us and donate it, or you can go and you can mail it home. He's like, well, normally I wouldn't care. He says, but it was a gift. She says, all right, well, go with this lady and go over to the kiosk over there. So he goes over to the kiosk and she walks him through really quick because, the line. Anyway, so he goes and he gets it all done. And he says, so does this cost anything? She's like, yeah, you got to mail it to yourself. He's like, $26? So with his card, his debit card, he's going through and it's not working. He goes through and it's not working. He goes through and then he starts doing this and the lady's like, calm down. He's like, I can't get anything to work. And his friend Joseph leans over. He goes, I got it. Takes his card, zips it through, works on the first try. He's like, anyway. I thought that was hilarious. I thought you'd want to know that. Okay. Now, big news. Really, really big news. Guess what? Someone in our community has published a book. A book that I've wanted to read for quite some time. As you know, our friend Kummer Wolf from the Worlds of Kummer Wolf. Gonna get this right. He has published a book. It's available. I already bought mine. I bought mine before I did this video. So excited. He sent me a message last night. I was like, for real? It's ready? It's ready. And I'm like, okay, so you're selling it on Amazon. You're selling it on Barnes & Noble. But are you selling it on your own website? Why do you want to sell it on your own website? I'll tell you why you want to sell it on your own website. So that you make more money for the exact same file. I know people prefer on Amazon, things like that, and I have a Nook. So normally I would buy on Barnes & Noble, but I know how to take the book, take a file, and put it onto my Nook. And I want Kummer to have more money. So I'm going to humbly suggest to you, first of all, if you've not been to Worlds of Kummer Wolf, you ought to sign up. You really, really should. I'm going to leave a link down below. You should go sign up. You should read his stories. Phenomenal. And I've been teasing him because I don't have time to read the serial. I said, please make a book. Then I can read at night before I go to sleep. That's when I normally read. I read for an hour or so before I go to sleep every night. I want your book. Put it on my Nook. I can have my own experiences before I go to sleep. Dream of pirates and things like that. And he did it. He published a book. And it's also available through Ko-Fi. So that's what I bought it through, by the way. So I'm going to suggest you do the same. Okay, and I'm going to promote it. He's a great writer, by the way. He's a great writer. And you've seen when I do the Fiction Hub interviews with him. He's phenomenal. What a great guy. Okay. I think that's about it. Oh, the name of the book is Dark Device of the Great Chasm. So, yeah, it's a Wind Tracer tale. So, highly recommend it. Really, really do. Going to be promoting it. And well done, Kummer. Thank you for giving me a book. Well, giving everyone a book, but thank you for giving me a book. Okay, last but not least, there's been a flurry of projects, and guess what? I'm not going to tell you about them. You know why? Because they're not finished. And I need to get out of the habit of saying this is going to happen and this is going to happen, and then committing myself, and then things getting screwed up. So instead, I'm going to say, hey, you have a fantastic week, and I'm going to tell you when stuff's done. Oh. But one thing, though. So Wednesday drops the next article of Ink and Purpose. Those are going really, really well. My goal is to convince you to encourage more reading of fiction. If you're a reader, read more fiction. If you have kids, encourage them to read more fiction. Read fiction to them. Heck, if you're a writer, I want to tell you your writing matters. It matters so much. And that's kind of the purpose of these articles. I'm going to convert everybody to fiction. I'm going to try anyway. But we need more fiction, not less. And we're not in competition. Please stop. Stop. You're not competing with anyone. All we do is strengthen one another. And the rest of the world and the way that they function and all this promo stuff, and it's just crap. I frankly, I'm going to tell you right now, the one thing that I'm feeling like doing at this point, I want to go back to a home brewed experience. I have no idea how to advertise. I have no idea how to get out there other than through you if you're recommending Life of Fiction. So, yeah, I'm just gonna pull back and relax and play and have more fun with you, and hope that people show up and join us. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I think that's good. You got 2 stories this week. So, life is really good. I know it's hard. I know it's kind of weird out there. But we're not weird. Much. Remember, you are more than you think you are. And you can do this. I hope you have a wonderful day and you have a wonderful week. I'm just gonna. I've decided. That's it. So, we'll see you next time. Bye.